Hi, my name's Dan Corbett, and today I'm going to walk you through workflows and approvals using Salesforce's Process Builder workflow engine. I realize I'm about 5 years late to the party, but I wanted to put a video together that describes how the product works and then take you through a blow-by-blow kind of demonstration. What is Process Builder? So Salesforce had a workflow engine all the way back in 2004, but in 2015, at the end of 2015, they built out a much better, much more kind of all-encompassing workflow engine called Process Builder. The difference between the two of them really is that Process Builder does more. In addition to sort of basic workflow engine sort of things where I can send alerts to various people, or I can build in an approval process to make sure that certain records meet certain criteria and that somebody has to approve them before they can move on. You can also use Process Builder to create things like workflow actions. You can create chatter posts. You can even create individual records inside of the workflow engine inside a Process Builder. And with the engine, you get to control what order the records kind of are updated in, what record and kind of flow happens as you work through the steps, and you can have multiple iterations of that. So as your workflow changes and as things kind of come together, you can redo that, refine that, and reactivate it. And the workflow Process Builder itself stays the same. The new version kind of jumps in. So I'm going to walk you through a quick scenario. In my version, a sales rep is going to win an opportunity. Chatter posts are going to go out to the finance team. A project record is automatically going to be created in Salesforce. The account record is automatically going to be updated to a new record type, and some checkboxes are going to be marked off. So basically, one action in Salesforce is going to fire off 4 different things that happen very quickly in succession. Let's give it a spin. All right, so quickly, here's an opportunity actually in my instance of Salesforce, a sample opportunity. And in this example, I've got some basic fields that sort of walk me through the opportunity. I capture things like who the engagement manager is and who the project manager is. Because we do projects, I capture the start and end dates for those projects. 50% is basically used as an invoice amount, so that information is captured. I tell you how many days the project's going to be, what my low and high is, and then I've got my services or my products over here on the right. So when I won this opportunity, Salesforce is automatically going to fire some workflows and create some records for me. So you saw that kind of happen in Salesforce, and if I refresh this page, I'm going to take a look at the information that kind of came up against that. You can see here that automatically a project got created in Salesforce. And if I hover over that, it'll show me that information. Here's my project record in Salesforce. You'll probably remember that the project manager was Chris Barisic, that I was the engagement manager. The ownership of that record was changed. The amount came over, the rate per hour came over, my start and end date came over, and all my hours came over. In addition, you probably remember those products: business process review, lead management, integration. The Process Builder built out what we call milestones to capture that information as well. So an opportunity quickly created 3 additional records inside of the system. 4 actually, the project, and then these 3 milestones as well. On the chatter with the record itself, it automatically gave some information to me and sent that information out to both my partner and I, and to the project who was basically assigned out there. So Chris Barisic gets a notice in chatter, and we get a notice in chatter that things are about to start happening. All of this was kicked off directly from the record. And then if I go back into this and go back to the BlackIron Group account, the information about that automatically changed. It used to be prospect, and now I'm a customer, right? So the record type automatically changed. And then there's some checkboxes down here that tell me the different products that were created. So remember, on the products, I had some basic opportunity management work, and I had some integration programming put together. You can see that those 2 checkboxes based on the products automatically got checked off as well. So how did all that happen? In Process Builder, essentially, I built out actions that happened as opportunities were changed, a data event basically. And so you can see here this visual flow inside of Process Builder, right? So I'm in Process Builder now. And basically, like a Visio flowchart, I start. I'm telling it that the record that I want to work with is the opportunity. I basically want to tell it when the opportunity equals closed one, when the closed one record equals 2, then I want a project to automatically be created. And it essentially lets me take fields from within the object itself, from the opportunity record, right? The account, the estimated start date, the project name, the project manager, the project stage, and on and on and on, and map that information to my brand new create project record inside of Salesforce using those fields. Now, this takes a little bit of time, but this is a very sort of visual interface that allows me to put that together. In addition, I've got a second workflow written across closed one, although I could have included this in the same one. I wanted to separate them so that the project record ran kind of separate and independent, that alerts our finance person that the information had been done. This is an inside joke that I won't explain now. And it allows me to update information on the actual opportunity record. So just like workflow, only better, when the opportunity is closed one, the date actually closed in the system calculates out and loads up the today, or whatever the day is, the date today, and loads that information into my opportunity as well. Basically, all that stuff happens as a result of building out these process builders. When I closed one that opportunity, the rest of the data happens by itself. I can also use Process Builder to build approval processes. And so in this example, our consultants essentially come into the system and record time at the end of the month. I'd love to get them to do it once a week or even once every other week, but the reality is we get it done once a month. And what happens is my project managers go out and work through these records. They enter their time. So in this case, Ken has got 5 hours for a particular project. I can either approve, reject, or reassign, but when Ken loaded this, he had a button here that said submit for approval. So he simply submitted this time card to me for approval. That sent it to me on my home page in Salesforce so that I could see this information listed here. When I go into these individual records, I can see them all listed here. I can mass update them if I want to, but I kind of want to show you one record. I can take that information. I could reassign it to somebody else. I can reject it, although I never do. I usually just call them. Or I can approve the record. Once I've approved it, I can give it some comments, or I can hit the approve button, and that releases the record that ultimately will kind of be used for integration. So what's next? Process Builder can be used for almost any process inside of Salesforce. I can alert records, I can update records, I can even create records. We'd love to hear from you about this. Please give us an email at info@blackironGroup.com or just call me straight up at 203-984-9087. You can also reach out to your Salesforce rep directly. Thanks for your time. Thanks for listening.